up, fantasy people? This is Tyler, Big Turd Ward, and Jason, the Lucky Bastard Youth and Won't, coming to you live. And this is the Fantasy Footballin' Show. Today's episode, what is this, Jason? The weekend wrap-up show?
The weekend burrito wrap-up show.
Week 13, right?
Yep, we're almost there.
So we have one more week, and then fantasy playoffs.
Yep.
That's if your league is structured correctly and doesn't have the finals on week 18.
Yeah.
Because that happens to quite a bit of people. So I wouldn't be surprised to hear about that from somebody that listens to us.
Yeah.
So anyways, Jason, you want to take a second to ask how they can help this channel?
Yeah. We appreciate it if we could get some likes and if we could get some more subscribers and some comments. We've actually gotten like 3 or 4 subscribers this week. Even though most of them are kind of known, it's still it's
Shout
cool.
Out.
Roller coaster. It's awesome. Then it's a buzzkill, and then it's like, hey, damn, we still got 38. That's pretty cool. That's 38 more than we started with, right?
Well, yeah, I think it automatically subscribed me when I started the channel. So I think you start with 1. I don't know. But anyways, shout out to Marky Plank. Maybe she's related to Marky Mark, the famous actor / rapper.
Yeah.
/ brother of 3 other brothers.
The right stuff.
4 brothers, Jason. That's a movie I was talking about.
That's a good movie. I like 4.
And he's a badass in that movie too. So hey, shout out to your relative too, Marky Mark. Sorry, man. Anyways, Jason, you and I went against each other yesterday, and it was a bloodbath, right?
Yeah, I was wondering if any of your clothes got stained in blood.
Only my underwear, and it was not blood.
I was crapping my pants.
Man, I started like even that stack. I was like, dude, Zay Jones and Trevor Lawrence, all that went to hell. So anyways, I just want to say, hopefully everybody had a better Sunday than me. I lost to my best friend and greatest rival. So better than that.
1-1, right?
By 1 point?
No, you won 1 and I won 1.
Oh yeah, you're right. Hey,
I get win.
Yes. Hey, dude. But yeah, I've like averaged like 30 more points per game more than any other. It's just insane. So anyways, if you're feeling bad, do not give up. Remember, hey, dude, it's still fun to do this. Play spoiler. Do not let anybody beat you or try to. Also, there's playoff stuff. Jason, you and I get involved in fantasy playoffs, and that's a lot of fun too. But we'll talk about that when that time comes.
Yeah, we haven't done it in a couple of years, but I've been thinking about bringing it back since we have a channel.
I want to do it this year.
Gotta redeem myself.
Man, I killed it. I love playing that. I think, anyways. So we're gonna go over the games that we watched with our own eyeballs. So we don't get to watch every game because we are poor, but what we can watch, we will talk about. So,
yeah.
First game, Jason. Giants versus the Commandeers.
The Commandeers.
Yeah, and so what were you looking for in this game?
Well, for one, it's a division matchup between the two, and before going into the games yesterday, if the playoffs started last Tuesday, every NFC East team would have been in the playoffs, right? So that division right now is kind of crazy, right? Mm-hmm. Everything's tight. I mean, the Eagles are they like 10-1 now or 9-1, something like that. But they're obviously at the top of the NFC conference. But Cowboys, Giants, Eagles are all in the race. So I wanted to watch that game because that game was going to mean a lot for either the Giants and the Redskins. I wanted to see the Giants when they have the Giants also had like back-to-back divisional games, right? The week before that on Thanksgiving, they played the Cowboys and lost, and then they had to go against the Redskins. So back-to-back divisional games is pretty tough. And I wanted to see if there was anything that I was going to get going on the passing game because they have been doing ever since Wan'Dale Robinson went out. Not much of a passing game there, but they still played pretty well. And then on the other side, the Commanders side, I want to see Brian Robinson have another solid game. He had his first 100-yard game of his career last week with Atlanta. I want to see how he was going to do this week against a mediocre defense with the Giants.
Yeah, and so when I was watching that game, dude, like Brian Robinson, like he actually, because I remember thinking that he just looks terrible when he was coming back from injury. I was like, dude,
Yeah.
like he looks stiff. He still does not like he is not a dynamic player. Like he'll give you what is like he doesn't get more than what is given, is what I'm trying to say. Like just watching him, he runs through the open lane and then just goes out of bounds. You know, he doesn't do these spins. Then like I was like, oh my God, I saw Antonio Gibson run it once and he did, you know, he made way more out of it. He also looked injured after the play. But Brian Robinson does look better, even though he is like I think he's a great play most time. I mean, God, dude. I mean, most games going forward, just because of the volume.
Yeah.
But
So
like, I just think it's the Washington offensive line actually played pretty well. But then in my notes, I was like, dude, the New York Giants defensive line got so many pressures on the quarterback. So, but Brian Robinson still almost got 100 yards on 20 carries. That's great. So just, I don't know. I think he's gonna. I think he's better than what I see with my eyes. I think they're just doing a really good job of blocking for him or something.
yeah. Well, I wanted to go like off of that was that Brian Robinson Jr. You know, he was 21 rushes for 96 yards. He also had 2 catches for 15 yards on 2 targets. But in yesterday's game, he averaged 4.6 yards per carry. Right. The game before that, when he had the 100-yard rushing, he had 5.8 yards per carry. But like the 5 games before that, he had 3.8, 3.3, 3.4, 2.7 or 2.5 and 3.7. That was an average of 3.34 yards per carry before last week's game. It looks like, you know, if you're going up against a team that's weak on the defense or weak on the run by any chance, he could be a play for you. If they got a defense, from what you're telling me, what I saw, he is going to be touchdown dependent for sure.
Yeah, I mean, dude, it just with your eyes, he doesn't look like a 20 carry 100-yard running back. But like I said, I think this might be a credit to Washington. Maybe they're putting it together. And watching that game, I really like Tyler Heinicke. I thought Tyler Heinicke played really well, and he makes a lot of good decisions. You know, where I was like, dude, it seems like every decision that Daniel Jones makes is terrible, like risking the life of somebody or himself. But yeah, dude. And also like Antonio Gibson didn't even average as like, you know, as I say, Antonio Gibson looked way better with my eye test. He didn't even average the same as, you know, Brian Robinson. So I think Brian Robinson's still like a running back too going forward. So because there's not a lot of running backs out there right now, dude. It's either like 50-50 time splits or just a lot of disappointments, feels like.
Yeah, well, one thing I also noticed with Brian Robinson is that he played very well in the first half, and then in the second half, he was really getting stuffed at the line. He actually, in the second half, was, you know, his rushing average was going down, but he had a 13-yard run there, like in the fourth quarter, to get out of their own goal line that really helped. And then after that, he kind of wasn't even he was kind of useless. They didn't really use him as much because they were trying to get down the field to either tie the game or win the game. And in scenarios like that, they're going to have Antonio Gibson, who's a better pass catcher. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. And so I mean, it's still like if you have Antonio Gibson, you're probably not starting him because they're giving everything to Brian Robinson, who you can start. And dude, I thought just watching that game, I forget how good Terry McLaurin is. Like, I don't know why Carson Wentz did not want to throw to Terry McLaurin, but man,
right.
like he doesn't get much separation, but he just catches everything.
Yeah.
And after the catch, he's really good. So yeah, I mean, he led the team with 12 targets. And then I saw that. Did you see that Dotson touchdown?
Oh,
That was insane, man. Like,
yeah. It was
stutter
awesome.
step. Like he attacks the field, man. Like there was like he goes 100% straight to the end zone. So like I think Jahan Dotson is, it just sucks, man, because like are you gonna really rely like on the second or third wide receiver, you know, in this offense? Oh, you got a new Xbox controller?
No, I was actually playing as Dotson, and that's why he was able to do the speed for. I pressed the B button for spin, and then the truck.
Dude, he was, dude, he looked so good. And he's a first round draft pick. It's just if it wasn't for Terry McLaurin just soaking up everything, and Curtis Samuel looks really good too. Curtis Samuel almost looks just as good. I'd say pick up Dotson and start him. I don't know. I think I'm gonna add him to my waiver. I already have my waiver list, and I think I might add Dotson, but it's just so scary, dude. I mean, you're so close to playoffs right now off of one good game.
I think like he would probably be a good pickup in a deeper league because for how good he is, he's not on the field as much as Curtis Samuel or Terry, and it's just a shame because when he's on the field, he makes these crazy catches and runs and scores touchdowns, but he doesn't get a lot of opportunities.
Yeah, I'm gonna write. I want to write his name down.
He doesn't get a lot of yards.
I'm just gonna mention him because now that I like, it's funny how you see somebody and then you're like, oh, I don't want to tell people to risk stuff, but then you're like, we're in a 10-man league, and you think about it for a while, and you're like, dude, Dotson, he's got touchdown upside every week, so
yeah,
I might as well add him to that favorite list.
With Terry looked great. He is a pretty good wide receiver. Since he's been pretty good, and it's crazy that Wentz was not going to him in the start of the year. He was actually using Curtis Samuel more.
Mm-hmm.
Curtis Samuel on my team, I was benefiting from that. But then when Heinicke came in to completely switch, now I don't even have Curtis Samuel on my team. I dropped him.
Yeah, dude. I mean, Samuel wasn't even being used for a while there, and he was getting 0 rushes. I mean, he went 3 for 23, which is great, but his long was 21. So
yeah,
it's just and then Heinicke did fumble twice. Robinson once. The worst fumble of the day was Daniel Jones, dude, on like a quarterback. Like he tried to, it was like third and 2, like a super important one, and he tried to run it and he fumbled it. Dude, that turned the game. Anyways, sorry, dude. I'm like just watching that.
Drive of the game.
What'd you say?
He fumbled on the first drive of the game.
That's what it was. No, then he did something else I have it written down. Sorry, do I have it written down? Because he was upsetting me, dude. Oh, that's right. Yeah. He was just stopped on the 3rd and 1. Like, I think that was like in the 4th quarter, and they did that quarterback run again, dude, and he just got stuffed. And it's like, it wasn't even a designed run. And it's like, dude, just like throw the short pass, man. Like, there's so many times where he runs when he should not. It's crazy.
That's what they're going to start doing now, because there was a lot of quarterback runs scripted in that game. He's got no one to throw the ball to. They're going to.
When they were scripted, when they were scripted, it actually looked good. Like when he just took off towards the end, and then he actually got that first down. But when it was like, he just breaks down way too fast. Like if he doesn't see something, he just goes, and like there's somebody waiting for him most of the time. But I mean, he's still what? I mean, he's still his floor. He saves himself with all his floor. He still had 70, 12 rushes, dude, for 70 yards. And Saquon looks so good. It's crazy. But he was going against Washington defense, who is like I think they're top 3 in rush defense, probably number 1 over the last month.
And Daniel Jones led the team in rushing.
That sucks. But like that touchdown that Saquon Barkley got was like, man, he burst. He looks so good. When he gets space, he looks so good. But that offensive line isn't good. And then I thought that Hodgins guy looked great. But he's just a wide receiver, and he hasn't done anything in the last like 3 or 4 weeks anyways, even with some targets. But Darius Slayton, dude, he's still I think Darius Slayton, he's still under 50% owned. I think he's like 38% owned. And yeah, what'd you say?
I would say they use him a lot on the deep ball. Part of the problem is that there was a stat out there that Darius Slayton drops the ball 15% of his targets, and that's number 2 in the NFL.
I believe it, dude. Because watching that game, there was some big drops there, but it's like when you're the only dude in town, it doesn't matter. So, God, man, I'm just thinking about. I wish they still had Wan'Dale Robinson, but I think Darius Slayton is still worth. I mean, if you started him in your flex, you'd be happy. Almost like 6 out of the last 8 weeks. It's crazy.
He still had 8 targets.
Yeah. So, I mean, And then the rookie tight end that was really doing well earlier in the year, he had 5 targets for 24 yards. But I thought Hodgins looked good. But like I said, I don't think he's worth picking up because, dude, Daniel Jones is so inconsistent.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley is pretty much all your start. Oh, and Darius Slayton is pretty much all you want to start from this team.
Yeah, I want to start Hodgins and Darius Slayton. Like, he only had he had 90 yards, but there was like 3 or 4 plays that they could have connect downfield where they were like 40, 50-yard bombs.
Oh yeah, dude. Look, Daniel Jones just like he's all or nothing. Like he needs to be hitting the in between stuff.
Yeah.
But he does like to bomb it. I know they're going to get another quarterback next year. They're going to get a rookie quarterback. Anyways, dude. Brian Daboll can't even fix Daniel Jones right now. It doesn't seem like. But yeah, it's pretty much all I have to say about that game, Jason. If you have any, and I thought it was interesting that Saquon Barkley got 100% of the running back carries because you and I were looking at that Brightwell, Brightwell last week. Like, who is this guy, man? He's probably pretty good. Never to be Saquon Barkley went to management and said, "Hey, take Brightwell to the dark."
Yeah. Like, what are you doing giving this kid the ball, man? No. Put him on special teams, and that's what they did. They put Breida on special.
Oh yeah, right. I know. I should check the tackles. Maybe he's there.
Yeah.
Defense. I was gonna say, man, that's a cool sweatshirt. I didn't realize that was Dallas. I thought that was Walla, like Walla Walla, Washington. Since you're up there.
Oh, good name drop, dude. Yeah.
I'm serious because the D is the most faded part of that.
Yeah, well, I've had this for years. This is my when I go to the gym, this is what I wear.
I thought it was vintage. Oh, so you're one of the big guys that wear sweatshirts. You don't show it off, huh? When you go to the gym?
I don't show the pump, man. I don't want to get kicked out of Planet Fitness for intimidation.
If I drop weights in my gym, I will crack my concrete, and I will be very upset. There will be no drop weights.
Before on to the next game, I do want to say the Redskins have a bye next week, and then they have a game after that. And Chase Young is probably going to be back by then. You know who they play in 2 weeks after their bye?
I would imagine the Dallas Cowboys.
They play the Giants.
Oh, that's right. That's right. They said that's right. Okay, and then dang, dude, Daniel Jones is gonna get because Chase Young is dominant, right? So, and their defensive line was already really good.
And they're playing them at home. So
yeah, you're right. So who would you start from that? I mean, I probably would not start. I probably wouldn't want to start Daniel Jones unless I was in a deeper league.
Well, obviously you're going to start Barkley.
Dude, I fear for Barkley. He's like touchdown dependent in that game.
And from what I saw, and now they're going to be at a home game, there's a good chance I might play him in my flex. But we'll see.
Who?
Brian Robinson Jr.
Oh, right. I see what you're saying. But man, like I said, the Washington has been killing the run for like the last month. What was the next game, Jason?
You wanted to do the Dolphins and the 49ers.
Oh yeah.
Now, what I was trying to watch from this game, going into it, there was the talk all of last week of the Niners and the Saints game, and everyone's like, the Niners are Super Bowl contenders. And I was just like, are you kidding me right now? Like, I don't understand. They only put up 13 points against the Saints. Like, they were barely able to win that game. The defense looks great, but the offense was kind of making me a little bit worried. So I put, make me a believer, right? Make me a believer.
Yeah, you were telling me that after last game.
Huh?
You were telling me that after last game on the show. You were saying the same thing on the show. So
I wanted them to score more than 13 points against Miami's defense, and I wanted offense or defense. Sorry, and I wanted to see if they were how good this defense could be, and if they could hold the Dolphins under 20 points. They did both.
Yeah. Well, remember what I was telling you about the injuries on the offensive line of the Dolphins?
Oh, yeah. Hold up.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Also on the Dolphins side, it's McDaniels faces his football teacher and Kyle Shanahan. I want to see how that was going to go. All right, now going into what you're saying, you were also worried about this last week with Terran Armstead out, and they went in and put in Greg Little. I don't care how big the dude is. If his last name is Little, I'm not putting him in.
When I saw Little, I was like, I wonder what his first name is. Like, my dad's name is Jeff, but I should say Little Jeffrey. Like, you know, they call him Little whatever. You know, Little John, Little Bill, Thesaurus.
I mean, I expected more sacks. They only got times, but they did cause him. They did pressure him to make some mistakes, and I think he had two. Tua had 2 interceptions and like 3 or 2 fumbles, I believe, but one of them was picked up.
They injured him.
He got injured too, right? You said like his.
Yeah, it's very. They said it's not that serious. He's gonna be practicing this week. But no, dude. Yeah, you're right. But watching that game, like, dude, Tua was not comfortable that entire game. Like, he kept on, like, everything was high, and it was because, I mean, pressure was in his face every single time.
Joey Bosa.
Yeah. Oh no, I know. I was like, dude, if I was you, I would do something like maybe do that one time or something, but then like do some Ace Ventura stuff. I don't even care. That's Mac actually. You think you're better than me? Just shadow box somebody.
What do you mean I don't have the upper strength? Oh, dang.
You don't think I can get up this building? You don't think I can pull myself up this building? Dude, that should be a drop. Like, if we get drops, you know, like, you don't think I have the upper body strength?
Yeah.
Dude, anyways, what were we just talking about? Sorry, people.
You're right. And it's crazy because, you know, the first play of the game, Tua hit that 75-yard to Sheerfoot, and I was like, there we go. Get those Niners out of here.
And I didn't start him. I was like, oh, dude, great, Tyler. Great. This is your luck this year, dude. You don't start Tua with a bad offensive line against the 49ers, and he's going to go off for 100 points. He's on pace for 100 points.
Yeah.
And Trevor Lawrence didn't do anything either. So
I was like, get the Niners out of here, dude. Their defense ain't good. And then that following drive, Jimmy Garoppolo went out with a foot injury, and I'm like, bro, you are done.
It was beautiful pass, and then he took that sack when he was backpedaling.
Oh God, the replay of that.
Yeah, he kind of backpedaled, and like when you see that, he actually hurt his foot, dude. Like, it almost feels like you can see it, but they just released a statement before this saying that it is probably not. They thought it was a Lisfranc injury, and they don't think it is anymore. And that is good news. It's not going to be as long, apparently. So,
well, he's done this year, and he's probably not going to. So,
big news is Brock Purdy, Jason,
Mr. Irrelevant. He is the first person. He's the first Mr. Irrelevant to throw a touchdown. Actually, he's the first Mr. Irrelevant to even throw a forward pass in the NFL.
Really? Oh, because usually the Mr. Irrelevant's probably never a quarterback.
Mr. Irrelevant usually doesn't stay in the league.
Oh yeah, I'm just thinking. It's usually probably not a quarterback either. That's probably one of the reasons. But do you remember Nick Mullins, Jason?
Yeah,
like 2 or 3 years ago, and man, he was a hit. Remember, he's like, this guy. He practices 24/7. He listens to like the crowd audio when he's practicing. He's all by himself after practice. He killed it for Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers for like 2 or 3 games, and then he fell off the face of the earth. So like, this guy looked really good. He made some really good throws on the run. But I mean, I think that he can get him 2 or 3 games. But just like kind of Nick Mullins, I don't think this is a permanent solution whatsoever.
Yeah, Nick Mullins had that huge game on Monday night against the Raiders, and where he just blew up. And then
you have such a good memory.
Well, then after that game, I think he started slowing down. And then where's he at now?
I just saw him. He just played. He's backup for somebody. I can't remember. I want to say maybe it's the Bills. I can't remember.
I think Purdy looked good. He looked pretty good, but
good, Jason. That's pretty good.
Pretty good.
Just think
But
if Jimmy Garoppolo's last name was Purdy,
I know.
the
Yeah,
purdiest man in the league.
prettiest chin in the league.
That's
Dutch. I got my wife's crafting stuff all over. She's like making presents, and it's like all over. And I just like kicked like some glasses. Um,
Tell me
it was
about
all. It was probably great that Purdy went up against Miami's defense because their passing defense is not the best in the league either. They're in the bottom half of giving up yards and touchdowns.
10 minutes, Jason. Okay, so we went over Brock Purdy. He does look good, and I like. Are you going to pick him up and start him? Probably not, especially with the fantasy playoffs going on. I would not want to trust this dude when it matters the most. If this was like 4 weeks ago, I'd say yeah, pick him up and see what happens. But no thanks.
Yeah.
What do you think, Jason?
No, I totally agree with you. Like, if I pick him up, I already have the starting quarterback that I'm playing, and I'm just putting him in there to see how he's going to do.
Yeah, because you're going to want to see it 2 weeks in a row, and then it's playoffs. So I mean,
I think something that really stood out though is that he still gave Debo 10 targets.
Yeah, I noticed it. I was like, I thought for sure, I was like, dude, they're making such a conscious effort to like getting Debo involved that day, so but his he had 4 rushes and his long was 9, but he ended up with 5 yards.
Yeah. They need to get him involved, right? To help take the pressure off of Purdy.
I should check to see when the last time he got a touchdown, like a receiving touchdown.
Oh, yeah. But I didn't even start Debo Samuel in my other league.
I probably wouldn't have either, dude.
And I got him in the second round. I'm like, dude, they're not giving him enough opportunities. He's not scoring touchdowns. He's not rushing for touchdowns. Like, he's just on my starting lineup, just like.
There are some crazy disappointments this year, man. It's weird.
Just taking dump.
Yeah. But hey, fantasy football, man, makes it great. Usually you're on, you have like 50-50 disappointments and booms. It's not all the time when you can get all disappointments, Jason.
Yeah.
I should go play the lottery, man. Because if you look at it that way, I'm actually really lucky.
Well, Tyreek Hill did well even though with that defense, I think he's just too quick. It doesn't even matter. He's just too quick. You can't guard him.
Because I'm looking at who do I want first round next year, dude? Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams. Out of those 3, I like Justin Jefferson, I think. But I think I'm going to end up getting Tyreek Hill. I'm not really sure, though. Oh, Tyreek Hill. This is a 6th game with over 140 receiving yards this year.
Yeah. Well,
isn't that crazy?
14
you'd think I'd say like 100 yards receiving. No, 140.
Yeah.
That is like, I'm like, dude, no. I feel like Justin Jefferson is probably higher floor, but if you just want to blow up stuff, man, just get Tyreek Hill. And he's going to be just as good next year, probably. I mean, all the same people are going to be there next year.
Yeah, I think next year when it comes to the draft, the Dolphins are going to focus more on the defensive side.
Or offensive line.
And so I think like Waddle, Hill, and Tua, I think they're still going to be great pickups next year. You know who was number 3 in receptions for the Dolphins?
I mean, I have it right. Oh, dang it. As I say, there's like a bunch of people tied. What is it? Sherfield or Cockcroft? Oh, no, Ingold.
Yeah, they're fullback.
Okay. Yeah, so, I mean, use check. It's funny because the fullback on both teams were used in the passing game. So
Waddle didn't get his first reception until the second half. He did have 5 targets.
Well, he was injured coming into this week. It's kind of a question mark if he was going to play. So, I mean, it wasn't a huge surprise that but I did think he'd do. I did think he's going to be more involved than he was, though. But dude, yeah, the 49ers defense is just so good.
Yeah. And going on back to the defenses or on the 49ers side, I wanted to look at Jordan Mason, 8 carries, 51 yards. He had 2 runs that looked really, really good.
I have
Christian McCaffrey, 17 rushes for 66 yards, and he had 8 receptions for 80 yards and 1 touchdown on 10 targets. He was used
So Purdy, yeah, I think they're going to hit the running back a lot more with Purdy, a lot more dump offs. And I thought Kittle was going to be involved a lot more with Purdy, but that was not the case. He had a couple good looks. He had a couple good catches. But yeah, dude, Jordan Mason, I swear, if that fool got 20 carries, he'd have 150 yards, man. That guy looked amazing. And he
Yeah.
looked huge. He's that undrafted rookie, like we were saying, like Alfred Morris, man. Kyle Shanahan loves, just making people think that he's a genius and making these undrafted rookies just amazing running backs. And I was like, but I thought it was discouraging seeing that McCaffrey got 17 carries, even with, his tendonitis last week acting up. So Jordan Mason is still a hot grab, man, because McCaffrey is such a high injury risk all the time. And they're using him like this. Plus, he plays for the 49ers, and all the 49ers do is get injured. So, dude, pick you up some Jordan Mason. He looks awesome.
Just don't start him yet.
I might, because I don't. No, I'm not going to. If you are smart, you will not do it. So you tell me not to do something, Jason. I'm like, what? Tell me what? I'm kidding. I don't care. I'll start him. Okay, so
with that,
yeah,
Ryan said.
But I'm sorry, Jason. What are you saying?
With that Ryan being said, I'm pretty good with that game.
Oh yeah, I do want to say though. Oh yeah, we only have 4 minutes left. But hey, dude, I would start. It sucks with Samuel. I don't know. I would start Ayuk still, and I would start. God, dude, I think that's it. Because I would say if you're in a 12-man league, you're starting Deebo Samuel. If you're in a 10-man league, you probably aren't.
Yeah, unless you're my dad, who's them either way.
Yeah. So, anyways, I'm good with that. And on that note, we're going to take a short break. If you watched to this point, thank you so much. We'll be right back. Jason, we are back from commercial break. And this is brought to you by the greatest of all time, fantasy football champion, Jason Euthenwald. We need to have a 2012. I was like, man. I was like, dude, I don't even know where that old trophy is with my name on those things. Somewhere back in the
it probably is. I need a replica. Because I won and left. I'm like, I'm gonna take a replica and take this with me forever.
Dude, I made those purple plaques, man, for mine. It was super cool. Anyway, it's crazy. Look how long we've been playing, Jason. That was from 2012.
Look at this.
I know. Oh, the 11. We're at this. We just make our own stuff.
I want so many. Can't afford to make all the trophies.
If you watch this show, it might help you win a trophy kind of like that. Or you might just go down in flames. I am sorry. But either way, you will be entertained.
Are you not entertained?
What game is next, Jason?
Let's go after the Chiefs at the Bengals.
All right.
This was a fun one. I think we got ourselves a good old-fashioned rival going on. I went into this game because the Bengals have owned the Chiefs. Last year, they beat them twice, won the AFC Championship to go to the Super Bowl. And this was a good day to play them because guess who's back? Back again. Jamar is back. Well enough, friend.
Yeah.
And then on the other side, I just wanted to see the Chiefs defense, right? Because some defense was going to have to be won in this game. The Bengals defense have improved throughout the year, and I wanted to see if and their offense has kind of been killing it. So I wanted to see if the Chiefs are going to be able to hold the Bengals down.
Right. So
didn't happen.
Yeah, dude. No kidding. It was a good game, though. I mean, they held them down till the very end. I mean, the Chiefs had the lead in like what, the fourth quarter or something like that.
until
And-
Travis Kelce turned the ball over.
Yeah, I saw that. He does that quite a bit, but and this was probably his worst game of the season, surprisingly.
Yeah, wasn't
Because
much.
I mean, yeah, dude, because he's been blowing people away. But I mean, if you look at the receivers, I mean, who was worth starting from their receivers? How often can you say that nobody was worth starting from the Kansas City Chiefs? You know, that's crazy.
Yeah. Well, Mahomes was lucky enough to get himself a rushing touchdown, looking
Yeah.
like Eric going up
Dude,
there
I
like.
thought, dude, he's so lucky he didn't get injured on that, man.
I know. He was pretty, or fumbled the ball. He barely got across before he actually did fumble the ball.
Yeah, he got caught from behind on one of those bad plays, or is that when he fumbled or something?
He got
Yeah,
sacked and he leg a little bit.
yeah. Stop it, Banjo. But hey, Isaiah Pacheco, he was able to, run the ball pretty well for them. And when you saw Jerick McKinnon relative to Isaiah Pacheco, dude, Isaiah Pacheco does not look. He's got like a 4.37, 40, but he does not look like he is that fast. I do like the way he runs, but Jerick McKinnon looks way faster than him.
Oh my God!
Did you see that?
Good, and he averaged 0.4 yards a carry compared to Pacheco's 4.7 yards a carry.
Mm-hmm.
Pacheco did,
yeah.
But McKinnon got the passing touchdown.
Yeah, and McKinnon, was in there on quite a bit of red zone carries too. It wasn't just all Isaiah Pacheco in the red zone or on the goal line. But yeah,
it's kind of.
Yeah, but I was just thinking like Isaiah Pacheco is the constant though in this backfield, and even though like I would probably pick up McKinnon if I was like in a 16-man league or something like that, for any other reason I would still leave McKinnon. I wouldn't worry about trying to pick him up because, dude, it's kind of like a crapshoot. I mean, how many times has Isaiah Pacheco been dropped and added? I mean, same thing can also go for Jerick McKinnon. And you're at the point of the year where you don't want that kind of player right now.
Yeah, this was a game where they decided to run the ball. And it was just a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about how they don't run the ball. And it was just one of those matchups, I guess. But it was, I think Andy Reid saw like they're getting great average just running what's 3?
They were rushing 3 like so many times. And that's, I was listening to Chris Long on the Rich Eisen show. And, Chris Long, the defensive lineman, he said that's the one thing that gets Patrick Mahomes. If you can cover their wide receivers and you can rush 3, and not only that, he got sacked during one of those times when they rushed 3. And that is like a big deal. So when they were only rushing 3, like, just 3 up front, they were running the ball a lot. So I think that's what I just think that's what happens when it's like that. So I thought that was interesting, Chris Long today.
Oh, absolutely. If there's only 3 up there and you're not on 3rd down and long, you run that ball.
Yeah.
You run it.
And I was just watching the highlights, and yeah, it was like 50% of the time it was like 3 people. They would rush 6 or like 3. It was kind of like all out blitzes or just 3.
Yeah.
So.
And it's so scary to blitz Mahomes too.
I was just dude, I didn't want to interrupt you or anything because I was just about to go off and be like, yeah, dude. And if you see the stats, they play it every time Mahomes plays, dude. It's like Mahomes versus blitz. It's like 140 passer rating.
Yeah.
So it's like the way to beat Mahomes is actually just to make him pass. And it's not like he has the weapons. Like if you can focus in on Kelce like they were, dude, it was like Kelce didn't get his first catch till the beginning of the 3rd quarter.
Yeah.
But that he did, like I was watching that in the first, I think it was the end of the 1st quarter, Patrick Mahomes threw it to Kelce, and Kelce had an easy touchdown, but it was patted down by the defensive line. Pass deflected. I always think pat downs, but it's pass deflections.
Right. Well, just no one needs to get discouraged on this when it comes to Travis Kelce.
Oh, dude. Number 1 draft pick next year, probably. Hell, it's ridiculous.
I think it was like Jim Nance and Tony Romo who did the game, and they were talking about how this generation, this decade, that he's probably the best tight end.
And he's the fastest to get to something with like way fewer games. Tony Gonzalez.
Yeah.
So, and he's a tight end, so he's probably still has at least a couple good productive years left.
Yep.
And then did you see that? Oh no, we're not there yet. I was just gonna talk about this crazy thing. Let's see. Let me make sure. Oh yeah, rushing 3 versus Mahomes, 4th and goal, Mahomes, fumble. Yeah, fumble jump. Okay, that's all I have for them. But
Yeah.
yeah, dude, I do want to say that Juju Smith-Schuster has not picked up where he left off. Ever since he's been in that concussion protocol, it's not like he's been dominating, so
Well, no one on that
I
receiver.
know, right? I know. But dude, it's just like when you have Patrick Mahomes, you just think that you could do it. He only threw the ball 27 times, like you said. So you're right. I mean, it was a 50-50 game plan. It was 27 throws, 25 carries, dude. So
So on the other side, the team that won this amazing game, Joe Burrow, he threw the ball 31 times.
yeah,
Yeah,
look good doing it.
he had 2 touchdowns. He averaged 9.2 yards a throw. Hell yeah. And he only got sacked once.
So did you see? You should see the pressures they get on him, dude. Chris Long was talking about that too, and he says it's Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. It's pretty
Yeah.
much 2 people that he can think of that are like just move once or twice, and then they deliver a strike. It's like that's what it was over and over again. But the thing about Joe Burrow, did you see him take off for a couple runs?
He had 11 rushes.
Oh, dude, he looked good. It's like Patrick Mahomes esque. It's not like he's just fast enough. It's barely fast enough. So,
Yeah.
um, like
Down on one of his rushing plays too.
yes, and so what Chris Long was saying is that we're seeing the cream rise to this white hot cream, Jason, rise to the top. And anyways, like everybody was worried about Joe Burrow, and I forget who else he was talking about, but Patrick Mahomes, everybody that was pretty much in the playoffs last year, a lot of them are making it again this year. And he also said that watching the offensive line for the Bengals, and I was actually watching it on the highlights. Their run push is awesome, man. Like the holes that they were given Samaje Perine, like he said that they've turned it into a strength. So their offensive line is actually doing really well right now.
Oh yeah, they definitely improved since the beginning of the season. We talked about multiple times in the early weeks that they had horrible offensive line, and Joe Burrow was getting sacked like 5-7 times a game. This game he only got sacked once. Then we go
Yeah.
with the back. I like to call him Marshall Falk's older brother, Samaji Piran. Yeah,
Dude, he looks
20.
like he's gained some weight, man.
Huh?
He looks like he's gained some weight, some muscle mass.
Yeah, 21 rushes, 106 yards, no touchdowns, but also 6 catches for 49 yards and 7 targets. That guy was doing it all for
They're
them.
not going to take the ball out of his hands. It's going to be like a 50-50 time split when Mixon comes back. It
I
sucks.
love mixing the.
Because you've got Samaje, man.
Yeah,
Give me some more Samaj. Give me some more Samaj. I know he's not Italian, but
right.
dude, when I was watching him, he looks amazing. Like he'll like spin move and then plow through somebody. Like
Yeah.
he puts his head down. Like he's got a lot of talent, and he's been there for what, maybe 3 years, 2 years. No
Mm-hmm.
wonder they got rid of Gio Bernard, man, and all that stuff.
Yeah, he's a good back, and he looks like he's 40 years old when he's playing too.
His beard, yeah. I don't
Yeah.
remember him being so jacked. Like his legs, he's thick. That dude is thick. Like I keep on thinking of him being like a third down back. That guy is a full on starter in the NFL. So
Yeah, he's from the movie 300, man. He followed Leonidas against the Persians.
this is Ohio.
Ohio.
I was thinking, where are they? Oh, Cincinnati.
Ooh.
My voice went out yesterday yelling Cincinnati for that photo shoot like 30 times.
Sensei.
Anyways, Banjo, stop it.
All right, to go in the passing game, Jamar Chase, 7 receptions, 97 yards, 8 targets. He even had a good play where he leaped over somebody. They were saying that he was going to be on the pitch count. It didn't seem like he was count, and he didn't seem injured.
Well, they needed him. So, and he watching him, yeah, I feel like sometimes he went, I don't know, like where he would usually try to fight to go back inbound sometimes or something. I feel like he just took the easy way out, which was smart, coming off of an injury. And then T. Higgins, dude, is a wide receiver one. So they've got 2 wide receiver ones on that team with 2 running back ones on this team, and one of the top like 4 quarterbacks in this league. And their defense, man, was getting pressure like Hendricks. The Bengals are on track to make AFC Championship game at least again this year. And then I do want to say that Tyler Boyd probably had the worst touchdown drop I've ever seen in my entire life.
I know. Poor dude.
Everybody was like, "Whoa!" It's just like,
Yeah.
That was so crazy, man.
Bread, was it breadbasket?
Dude, that was like, yeah.
Bengals to win their division, because I said it multiple times before the year on some videos in the archive. So I need that to be true. In the beginning of the year, it did not look true, but now it looks like it's definitely going to happen because Lamar Jackson's going to be out for a while.
Yeah, no kidding, dude. So, man, that's crazy. So yeah, would I want to start? I'd want to start Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. And it just sucks that Hayden Hurst hasn't been connecting, because when you see him play, he looks great.
But yeah, hurt.
That's what it was. I was like, what was I thinking? As soon as I said his name, because I was like, dude, I'm gonna tell people to get Hayden Hurst, and then I was like, no, I watched way too much stuff today, man. Anyways, Hayden Hurst did look good. Sorry, you Hayden Hurst owners, you haters. But yeah, so if you can still get Samaje Perine from somebody, even and try to play, the trade deadline's done, dude. So yeah, Samaje Perine, I'm still starting going forward. I would start him with confidence, Jason, next game. If Joe Burrow, if Joe Mixon comes back next game, you're just gonna have to start Joe Mixon, right?
Yeah, you're gonna have to,
and just see what happens.
He takes the bulk of the carries away.
I don't even think he cleared concussion protocol today. So we'll see. Dude, that's crazy. I mean, this is the year of concussion protocols, man.
Yep.
So yeah.
Just for reference too, the Chiefs, they allowed the 3rd most receiving yards to running backs this season.
And Perine is a pass catching machine, so it almost doesn't matter who you're going against. And they went against the Titans last week, right?
Yeah.
And so that's 2 weeks in a row. People have to, Titans stuff to run, but allow a lot of pass catching. So, but like, I'm just thinking sacks on Burrow, man. Like, the Bengals are pointing it way up right now.
Yep.
So, anyways,
they're going to make that now. They've finally put all the pieces together on offensive line.
Yeah, well, they're probably going to have to play in. They're going to have to probably play what, like in
Buffalo.
Yeah, or Kansas City. So it doesn't really matter. They're not going to be home, and they were home this game. Anyways, Jason, you want to talk about the Colts and the Cowboys?
Yeah, let's finish this off.
Tell me what you know.
Cowboys.
Cowboy.
All right. Well, going to this game, I wanted to see if Tony Pollard was going to bounce back from the subpar performance last week. And then I wanted to see the Colts defense, because when they play the NFC East, they played pretty good defense against us. This was a little bit of a crazy stat because I was watching the Redskins and Giants game, and the announcer, Jonathan Velma, was talking about how all the NFC teams kind of play alike, right? So they're saying we all play alike. And then the Colts have played against Washington and the Eagles and held them to 17 points. They've almost beat them, both those teams. I was like, well, okay, if he's saying that we all play alike, how's the defense going to hold up against the Cowboys? Well,
yeah,
I guess we're not all alike, are we now?
No, I know.
Point you can't see because I have a championship trophy in the way. The score is 46-19. And they scored again after that.
I do want to say, all right, this was a close game, man. I know you're pointing it out like it was a smashing, Jason, Cowboys fan.
It was a lot closer than what the score said.
dude. It was 13-14 when that tipped Matt Ryan pass was intercepted late, and then Gallup had a touchdown right after that. Then it was 19-21 with 3.5 minutes left in the third quarter, and then the Colts failed that 2-point conversion, and then Gallup got another touchdown after that, which we'll talk about here in a minute. And then Mo Alley-Cox, he fumbled that ball, or he fumbled, defensive touchdown. That was game over, dude. So it was like within 2 points. And then they just, that it just sucks, dude. They failed that 2-point conversion, and then everything just went downhill after that.
Yep.
And then when it goes downhill for the Colts, it goes downhill fast. Because like I didn't have a chance to watch that game. I had to watch a lot of it today. But on the radio, they're like, this was a national embarrassment. This was a national embarrassment. And I was like, dude, like it actually was a pretty good game up until a certain point.
Yeah, I was nervous. I really was. They were beating our coverage. They got Diggs, or Mike Ryan got Diggs pretty good for that touchdown by Doolin.
Yeah.
He's a ball hawk, right? He wants that interception. He's going to go in when he thinks that ball's going to go there. So what they do, they pump faked it. He fell for it. He got juked so hard. He was not green when Doolin touchdown. He was there, and then he wasn't. And Doolin, I was like, there was a time there that I was like, oh, we're keeping them close, and Matt Ryan is not doing any turnovers right now. Dak Prescott threw another interception, that was on I don't know why he threw that ball to Gallup for the interception. Sometimes just makes me wonder, but in the end, it was Ezekiel Elliott and the Salvation Army tub, and not John.
Yeah, and did you see Ezekiel Elliott didn't start?
Yeah, I know. It took him a while before he got in there.
Disciplinary reasons, according to Jerry Jones.
Oh.
So I don't know what he did.
Well, let's just say Pollard took the best of it. 12 rushes for 91 yards and 2 touchdowns. He averaged 7.6 yards per carry, and he also had 2 receptions for 15 yards on 3 targets.
Yeah, so Pollard, dude, first 6 weeks, 370 yards, 2 touchdowns. Pollard, the last 6 weeks, 740 yards, 8 touchdowns. And then Ezekiel Elliott was interviewed about this, being like, hey, how do you feel about this? And he said that he actually had a problem with it last year with Pollard. And so one of the big reasons that he wasn't super involved. But by the end of last year, he felt a lot better about it. And now he feels great about it. So I expect Pollard to get a lot of touches, man, every single game, even with Ezekiel Elliott here.
Yeah, my dad's been starting Pollard in the flex every week.
Oh, dude. How could you not, man? I wish he was my flex. He'd been my running back 1. Thanks a lot, Derrick Henry.
Yeah. Ezekiel, he did rush the ball 5 more times. He had 17 rushes, 77 yards and 1 touchdown. He had 3 receptions for 14 yards on 3 targets, and his rushing yards was averaging 4.5.
And when you see him, like, I don't feel like he does not look like. Remember when he was just a 1-cut home run hitter? He's like morphed into like this slower, just kind of like more of like not like a Marion Barber, but just like a plowing type back almost.
Yeah.
So he has a different running style now.
I think he did look fresher this game, but yeah, from the earlier years, he's not going to be the same guy. I mean, you can look at him, looks like he's gained like 20, 30 more pounds since like his
rookie season. He's not shooting off his 6-pack anymore, and now he's like covers it all.
He's going off his kids meal in there, his kids meal pack.
I mean, but hey, they don't need him to be that. What they need is that type of runner. So, and plus I'm sure he's a great pass protector still. The Cowboys are looking good for the playoffs.
Yeah, he's a great pass protector, and he's also great when it comes to 3rd and 1 or goal line carries.
Yeah, and then Dak didn't really have to do much this game at all. But watching this game, I thought CeeDee Lamb looked great. This is one of the first games where I was like, dude, CeeDee Lamb, like he's taking a hit and then he's still running. He's not just like, just going down or not doing whatever. He looked like he wanted to gain yards that game, Jason.
Yeah, it's crazy when I was looking at the stat, he only had 5 receptions. And I'm
When
like,
you watch it, you're like, oh my god, man, he's dominating.
right. I felt like he was involved on every play. He had five
Yeah,
receptions, yards, and a touchdown on 7 targets. But especially that first catch that he had where he rolled on the player, didn't touch the ground, got up and ran back in.
he looked like a second round. Like he was drafted in the second round this year. I think he looked like a second round draft pick to me last when I was watching that game. So
And it was
I
one of
thought that
those
was really good for the Cowboys.
he wasn't starting off the year that way, but he's starting it really ended that way, and which is, what do we say in fantasy football for one thing is it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And
Yeah.
they're really put it together now.
And speaking of which, dude, I was waiting for this. He's been on my waiver wire. I actually took him off because I just thought it wasn't going to happen. But then, hey, I get to put him back on. Michael Gallup. Hey, remember last year when we you'd start Gallup over Lamb last year.
Mm-hmm.
And so I always think of it as like Miles Davis, not Miles Davis, Miles. Who was that guy, dude, that was amazing with Tony Romo?
Austin.
Austin Miles, dude. I just kind of think like, oh yeah, Austin, whatever his name. What was his
Miles
name? Miles Austin?
Miles Austin.
Okay. And remember, but the number one was like Dez Bryant. And it was like, dude, I just kind of felt like that was almost the same situation, It was just like Michael Gallup was like the guy you want. And now, hey, 4 catches, 2 touchdowns. And that second touchdown was totally designed for him. He was the first read on that. I watched the first one. I don't remember if he was the first read on that one too, but
It wasn't that was more of a scramble play where he just
okay.
it's a drag route, but he scrambled. Prescott scrambled out, and he just found Gallup, got in, and he just
Yeah,
his number 2 touchdown. That it was a fade route,
yeah.
and lately you haven't been seeing that because it's either going to the running backs or Dalton Schultz or one of the tight ends. This was the first fade route that I've seen from the Cowboys in a long time, and it looked good.
So yeah, he's on my waiver show because it's something that we've known. There's history of this, so I think he is worth picking up. So, but yeah, dude, Ezekiel Elliott's still involved in the passing game, which is good. You can start. You're starting Tony Pollard. You're starting Ezekiel Elliott. You're starting Dak Prescott, even with the down game. It was just kind of the way that game went, dude. It was just so weird.
Yeah, I had Dalton Schultz as my tight end. He only got me 4, but I'm still starting that guy. Yeah. He had targets, and 2 of those targets were in the end zone. They just couldn't kill. That's what you want to see. He gets the opportunity. He gets those end zone targets. Last week he scored 2 touchdowns. I'm still starting him. I still like him.
And then, dude, did you see that jet sweep with the with what's his name, like 3 times in a row, dude? Or I guess it was CeeDee Lamb 2 times in a row. I thought it was like 3 times in a row, but no, it was like I thought that was kind of cool.
That was like Madden, where you just press the Y button and just do the play again.
I know, man. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have there. Yeah, but on the other side of the ball, so I'm starting to figure out about Michael Pittman, Jason. So last week there was a play to Michael Pittman that Matt Ryan got intercepted on, and Michael Pittman did not go back and fight for the ball. He faded. He's doing some stupid stuff in his route running, man, and it caused an interception. And then Matt Ryan came back and he yells, he's effing trash. And guess what? Since then, he is, God, dude, Michael Pittman Jr. might as well not exist.
He's in the dog.
He's in the doghouse, and there's not enough. If you're in the doghouse with this offense, what the hell, dude? Alec Pierce, though, I think he didn't have any target. I think he barely had any targets last week, but the week before he had 8 targets. So he's got 2 out of the last 3 weeks. He's got 8 targets. He's 6'3". I think he's a rookie.
Yeah. From Cincy.
And he's on the outside, so he's getting the big plays. Whereas Paris is in the middle. He's a slot guy. Paris is still not going to get they're not going to throw the ball enough, dude, for him to get enough play. So I really like Alec Pierce actually going forward. Alec Pierce is on my waiver wire show.
Yeah, it sucks. I actually picked up Alec Pierce off of waivers weeks ago, and
he was killing it. Yeah.
Well, when I had him, he wasn't. He
Oh,
decided.
you just did it. Okay.
I ended up dropping him, and then he started picking. He started going again. You know, he had a touchdown. He had a good touchdown grab last night.
Dude, he looks good. He looks the part.
Fortunately, like you said, Michael Pittman, he's getting to the place where you. I don't know if you're even going to want to start him. And
I started,
that third or fourth round pick.
dude. Third, like I literally went like yeah, it was almost like Michael Pittman Jr., Cortland Sutton, Gabe Davis. It's crazy, dude. That how bad some of these that my draft ended up being. But hey, my draft is usually pretty good. Bad, man. So bad. Hey, but all you can do is fight to be better. All you can do is learn from your mistakes, Jason.
Yeah.
Now we have all this on video. So like when I say screw it, I'm gonna get Travis Kelce and Travis and Patrick Mahomes round 1 and 2 next year. I can come back and I can remind myself, you know. It's like Michael Scott when he sends himself reminders to not get back. It's all right. You got broken up with. This is pretty good.
Yeah.
This is bad. Don't worry about it. Leaves themselves videos. Anyways, Jason, we got 10 minutes left. I do want to talk about Jonathan Taylor if there's anything else you want to talk about.
So I want to talk about Matt Ryan. After this game, Matt Ryan leads the league with 18 total turnovers. We have 4 that game. He started with 14. When he threw the interception, it was 15 turnovers. And at that time, he tied Josh Allen for the most turnovers in the league. Josh Allen. The crazy thing is, we're still starting Josh Allen, even with the turnovers. We're not even looking at Matt Ryan.
No kidding. That's a good point, man. It's not like yeah, it's not like whatever. It's not like, dude, that's crazy. Well, Brett Favre, you know, he was, I guess, he led the league in turnovers how many times, and you would start him every week. So
yeah,
I'm just thinking about people like that.
Of like Matt Ryan in that offense. It's the Colts needed a third quarterback in the draft. You know, you had Carson Wentz last year, wasn't the answer. You had Matt Ryan this year. It's not the answer. They're towards the end of their career. You need to get some better weapons. This defense or this offense revolves around Jonathan Taylor. And then when you have your quarterback throwing up 18 turnovers and he missed 18 turnovers. We're at what, week 13, and he missed 2 or 3 games this year.
Oh yeah, dude, no kidding. I know.
Not the guy.
It's funny, you know who he's still way better than is Russell Wilson. So it's like,
I know.
Oh,
I just want to put my knee through Russell Wilson's face mask and then say, "Rah!"
Oh my God, you're crazy looking. But Jonathan Taylor, dude, I think watching that game, Jonathan Taylor still looks good. I mean, you see the burst. Yeah. He looks like Saquon Barkley. Like, he looks amazing. But he's on such a bad team. And like Saquon Barkley, I think, I mean, I don't know. He's going to be like he's going to be a late first or a high second round draft pick next year still. Just because he is so young, dude. Like, this guy is way younger than Saquon. So,
yeah. This is only his 3rd year.
Yeah, I mean, he looks great. And he caught 3 balls for 20 yards at least. So,
and it looks like with their coaching, he's really going to focus that line to work on the run game and Jonathan Taylor. So that is good. That's good to see.
Yeah. So I still like. I mean, I know they included Zach Moss, but I think that was mostly garbage time. So I still like Deion Jackson as the handcuff for Jonathan Taylor. And then yeah, as far as you can start Alec Pierce, and that's probably all I'm starting, dude.
Besides Taylor.
Yeah, it's Taylor and Pierce, and that's probably it.
Yeah, and it's very unfortunate. But
yeah, I mean, this was the one thing that really perplexes even NFL people. This was supposed to be a good team, and they are not. So, like, you know, people saw holes in the you know, in the Denver and somebody else that I was thinking was going to be better. But this right here was supposed to not be like this.
Yeah, so. You also went after Jonathan Taylor just because you knew he was going to be on the Colts. That was probably one of the favorites to win that division.
Yeah. No, it's all about that offensive line and just not there. So,
Yeah.
anyways, Jason, you done?
I believe
Got a foosball game to watch.
I'm done.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching to the end. We really appreciate it. I know it's a long episode, but hey, going in depth, man, on 4 games takes a long time, really.
Quality information.
Quality over quantity, Jason.
Quality.
Just like In and Out, man.
In and
Maybe.
Out. We're the animal style. We're the animal
That's
style.
what a hamburger's all about. All right, guys, Fantasy Football and Show. Please subscribe. We want to grow, 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 grow. Make this a huge community, man. We'll have a great time. Be awesome.
Yeah.
All right, man. We'll see you guys later.